Championship expectations begin at the beginning of this season as both teams on today's courts looking for a different kind of championship. For BYU, the road team today, national championships are what the Cougars expect, having been to the Final Four the last 3 years. And for the Red Flash, bringing back the sabbatical squad, the EIVA is in their sights as they look to rebound from a disappointing 2018 season. Hello, everybody. Matt Popelka here on the NEC front row, bringing some non-conference volleyball on the men's side. Red Flash come into today having already won the first 3 home games in the Red Flash Invitational, taking down some D3 squads as they played host to the likes of Alderson Broadus and various other lower-level squads. Meanwhile, BYU has taken the gauntlet of an opening season schedule, having already taken down number 7 Ohio State, number 14 Ball State, and then just yesterday, less than 12 hours ago, taking down Penn State, who was receiving votes in the opening polls on the men's side. So 3 wins for the Cougars, 3 wins for the Red Flash, each team looking to remain undefeated in 2019, I should say. BYU makes the cross-country trip to Pennsylvania for the first time, make their way into DeGaulle Arena, having played the Red Flash just once in the histories of the 2 program. That was back in 2010. BYU won a 4-set game. That was part of the Long Beach State Invitational Tournament back in 2010. That is the only meeting between the 2 squads. That was a 35-33, 27-30, 14-30, and 23-30 final score in the 4 sets. And reason why they went to 30 points, that was the last year that's the scoring system went to 30 points. The next year in 2011, they changed to the 25-point system that we now currently see. BYU under the direction of Sean Olmstead in his 4th season. Already 2-time Coach of the Year in the MPSF. On the other side, Mike Rumball in his 21st season at the helm of the Red Flash. Just the 2nd head coach in the program history. And he's looking to go back to the EIVA championship where he was in back-to-back years 2016 and 2017. And he has some players back from that 2017 squad that missed last year. And now they're eyeing another chance at a run at the EIVA, but it is a crowded top of the pack. Princeton predicted first in the conference with 2 first-place votes, but then there's Penn State and George Mason, close 2nd and 3rd by the coaches' preseason poll. Each of those 2 squads received 3 first-place votes. In total, it was about a 5 or 6 point spread between 1st and 3rd place. So the top heavy conference in the EIVA, followed by NJIT, then Harvard, and St. Francis predicted 6 out of 8 squads in the EIVA. Last year for BYU, 22-7 for the Cougars, 10-2 in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. The regular season and the tournament champs for the 3rd straight season. And also reached the national semifinals for the 3rd straight year for the first time in BYU's history. Sean Olmstead, former BYU women's volleyball coach, led them to the national championship game back in 2014. He was also a 2-time national champ at BYU as a libero at the beginning of the millennial in 2001 and 2004. For Mike Rumball and the Red Flash, trying to put 2018 in the rearview mirror. Just 9 wins on the season for Rumball and the Red Flash. The fewest since 2016 and the 4th fewest wins in a single season for the Red Flash. One big note for the Red Flash, though. They did take down number 8 Stanford 3-1. It's the highest ranked opponent St. Francis has ever defeated in their program's history. Some new faces, some familiar faces back in the lineup for the Red Flash. Like I mentioned, they are bringing back 4 players from the 2017 squad that took a redshirt year last year, dubbed the sabbatical squad. And they'll be back as they bring a lot of experience back from the 2017 team that went all the way to the EIVA championship game where they fell to Penn State. The previous year they fell to George Mason in the same game, as both teams are almost ready to go. BYU's lineup has been announced. Waiting for the final go from the Red Flash side for BYU. A little bit of a switch up on their end as far as starting lineups go. We do see a new libero and a couple of switches elsewhere in the lineups. Taylor Richards, the 6'2 senior from Provo, Utah, will get the start at the libero position, normally occupied by the sophomore Zach Hendrickson, who will take a breather as BYU is playing their second game in about 12 hours, as they played Penn State last night starting at 7. And they were supposed to play here at DeGaulle Arena tonight at 7, but because of the potential inclement weather heading the way of Loretto, Pennsylvania, they decided to move the game up to 11 a.m. so as to give BYU enough time to either hunker down here in Pennsylvania and weather out the storm, or get out of Pennsylvania and trying to get back to Utah before it is too late to travel. So Taylor Richards get the starts at the libero position. Will Stanley will be the setter once again, the junior from Honolulu, Hawaii. And in the middle, we'll see Felipe Chibritu Fahiru. And that'll be a mouthful to say this entire day. The 6'9" middle blocker from Brazil. Be a big force in the middle. The other middle blocker will be Brandon Oberenden. The 6'7" middle blocker from California, against his first starts on the season, has played just one set. That was against Ball State a couple of games ago. On the outsides, on the opposite side, Gabby Garcia Fernandez, the 6'7" sophomore from San Juan, Puerto Rico, will be in the starting lineup. Then on the outsides, Davide Gardini, the 6'9" freshman. A big presence on the outside. Don't normally see 6'9" out there, but he brings a lot of firepower, has a lot of bloodlines in terms of volleyball prowess. And then in the middle will be Miki Yauhiayan. On the other side for the Red Flash, see BJ Blair getting the start center. Michael Fisher on the outside, along with Evan Feltz. Patrick Bryan on the opposites, with Cole Carver and Hayden Herc in the middle, as BYU sends the ball off the block and off the awaiting arms of BJ Blair, the redshirt junior, and early points for the Cougars. Early starts here, 11:04 a.m. in Loretto. 9:04 a.m. where BYU's campus is in Provo, Utah, as a big kill and an early points for the Red Flash. And Michael Fisher, the redshirt junior, as we'll send Hayden Herc back to serve. Kept alive by Blair. They bump it outside for Fisher off a double block, kept alive by BYU. It'll be sent over by Yauhanen. To the backside on a little tip shot. And they find the space in front of Hayden Herc. And a point for the Cougars. Both teams undefeated, 3-0 on the season. The Cougars facing a far more challenging opening schedule than the Red Flash. They've taken down 2 top 15 teams already. Red Flash have played 3 Division III teams. And they're going to get a Cougar in the nets. Patrick Bryan will be back to serve. So Blair, Bryan, Fisher, and Woffiton, the 4 players back from the 2017 squad. And an ace. Patrick Bryan, a big serving specialist. Also on the opposite side. This time the serve is handled as they go off the block. And a kill for Gabby Garcia Fernandez, who was the National Player of the Week the first week. And the 2 games against Ball State and Ohio State had a combined 31 kills. They go outside, and Fisher will get another kill. Diamond attempts from Will Stanley, the center, unable to keep it alive. Stanley taking over from Leo Durkin. Graduated and is now out of the program, and a service error from the Red Flash. And we're tied at 4. Garcia Fernandez, 27 kills. Season high for the Puerto Rico native as he sends it long on the serve. As Cole Carver will be back to serve now for the Red Flash. On a setter dump, a kill and point for Will Stanley. We had mentioned the bloodlines of Davide Gardini. There's also bloodlines for Will Stanley, whose dad played in the 1968 Olympics, is in the Volleyball International Hall of Fame. His brother Clay also played in 3 separate Olympics, 04, 08, and 2012. As that one is off the block, a little late getting over was Hayden Herc. Tied at 6 early on first sets. As the jump serve goes long from Brandon Oberender in his first start of the season, first start of his career. Evan Feltz back to serve. That will pull Stanley off his line off a triple block. Feltz can't keep it alive as that will be a diving effort, but it'll be out of play and a point for the Cougars, tied at 7 once again. Pretty much an exact opposite of how the game went for the Cougars against Penn State yesterday, as each team jumped out to an early lead in each of the 5 sets that the game went, as a smart play, a good kill from Patrick Bryan off the side of the block, and a Red Flash back in the lead. But the 5-set thriller between BYU and Penn State yesterday, each team jumped out to an early lead and had to come back and win each set, and that was the case in all 5. In the first set, Penn State jumped out to an early 7-1 lead, and then BYU came back and actually won that first set, as they took down Penn State 25-22, 25-27, 28-26, 19-25, and 15-13. And what was a good showing for Penn State's, as they try to come back into the national prowess and the national spotlight, having missed out on the NCAA tournaments last year, falling to Harvard in 5 sets in the EVA semifinals, as Patrick Bryan can't handle the block, or the ball ricocheting off the block, I should say, and a point for the Cougars. They're now in the lead 9-8. An ace on the back line. Gabe Woffinden watched it sail by, and it's 10-8 now BYU. And that one will be into the net. Davide Gardini, freshman from Italy. His dad, Andrea Gardini, guarded as the best middle blocker to ever play, and one of the best overall players on the men's side in the indoor volleyball game. Jauhiainen back to serve. Junior from Finland, as Woffinden keeps the play alive off the block. A roll shot coming. Now BYU has an opportunity to take advantage from the back line. Might have caught a piece of the block coming through off the trajectory of the back line. Defenders for the Red Flash, and an easy point for BYU. They open up a 3-point advantage. On the backside, blocked but kept alive by Bryan. Feltz to the floor, will make a pass, and a free ball sent over. Taken by Stanley initially, the setter, and the Red Flash throw up a triple block. And Fisher and company deny the Cougars. Fisher a little too long, and a little difference between the men's and women's game. The service game is really, on the men's side, really all or nothing. You're going to see a lot of aces and a lot of errors. And that's 5-set game yesterday for BYU. They had 4 aces, but they also had 24 service errors. Feltz is denied. Stanley got up along with Oberender and denied Feltz on the outside. Feltz again off the block, and BYU in the nets. Oberender again, that's the second time he's been called in the nets. Stanley to Oberender, and he gets the kill. So to push the middle a little bit outside from the normal position, and it gets just enough of it past the block of the Red Flash. BYU maintaining a 4-point advantage right now, 15-11. They go from the back row, kept alive by the foot. On a roll shot, Bryan keeps it up. Back row again for Fisher. This time Gabby Fernandez will take it. And a tip shot and kill for Davide Gardini, and a timeouts from the Red Flash. A little bit of an accidental keep it up from Andrew Lincoln, who came into the game on the back row. As he kept up the kill, what it looked like for Fisher, he got past the triple block on the back row attack and just happened to hit right where the foot of Andrew Lincoln was. Popped right up, and BYU was able to take advantage of it as they've opened up a 5-point advantage here on the road. They try to win their second game in as many days, and really in about 15 hours or so. So early on, the Red Flash service game helping them out, keeping them in the game, and actually giving them a lead at some points early on in that first set. Right now, BYU imposing their will, showing why they are the number 4 team in the nation. Red Flash play a number of ranked teams. BYU number 4. They also play the number 1 team in the nation, Long Beach States, at the beginning of March in a tournament at Long Beach States. And they also play Hawaii for the first time in program history in a tournament down in Charlotte, North Carolina. As we see Saurus Fa'alogo checking into the game. Normal starting outside was left out of the starting lineup as they're going to get BYU once again in the nets. BJ Blair back to serve now. From the back row, blocked and kept alive though, Stanley. And that'll find the court on a cut shots from Gardini. 6'9" on the outside gives certain advantages as they can throw it up a little higher than normal for an outside as he will get another kill. At a double-double against Penn State, 17 and 11 digs. 11 digs kind of surprises for a player of his size at 6'9". As Feltz will be back to serve. Gardini will make the pass. Stanley another kill. That's 2 times now. Stanley has got a setter dump kill. I mentioned Stanley replacing Leo Durkin at 1,000+ assists in each of the last 3 seasons. Great play and a dig on the opposite side from the libero in Richards. A left-handed kill attempt. Richards has to set it up for BYU. Gardini from the back row, Doug. On the outside, Fisher blocks. The triple block thrown up. The only option was to go to Fisher, and that allowed BYU to set up the triple block on the outside. And nowhere for the outside to go. 19-13 BYU on top. An ace. And the Red Flash need another timeout. 20-13. BYU has really opened it up now. 7-point advantage for the Cougars. BYU having their way offensively, hitting .556 as a team right now. Just 1 attacking error from the Cougars. 11 kills in 18 total attacks. Also doing a great job defensively. 7 digs and 4 blocks. As BYU is really controlling this first set. And opened up a 7-point advantage on the road. Will Stanley still back to serve. Junior from Honolulu, Hawaii. Waffenden will make the pass, pulls BJ Blair off his line. Another triple block. This time, Fisher finds a way to tool it off the top of the hands. As we see Griffin Sangri onto the courts, a serving specialist. Goes down the line and an ace. Cyrus Faalago having trouble with that as he and Garcia Fernandez trying to get on the same page down the near sideline. Sangre back to serve again. This time he finds the nets. Service game giveth, and the service game taketh away. Alex Asu will check in for the first time. Freshman from Camarillo, California. On a back sets. Kept alive on a dig attempt from Stanley. Unable to keep it in play, though. And a kill for Patrick Bryan. Red Flash now hitting .227 as a team. Came in hitting over .400 as a team, but once again, they were playing Division III opponents in their first 3 games. Jauhiainen back to serve again. And a kill out of the middle. Cole Carver with a kill. Red Flash back within 5 down the stretch in set number 1, 22-17, BYU on top. And another service error. Asu back to serve again. Lofton will make the pass. They go to the outside, off the block, and a kill for Evan Feltz. Smart play again. We've seen that a couple times from the Red Flash outside players, really trying to tool the player, tool a block of BYU, hit it off the side of the hands, and not allow an opportunity, A, for the block to go back onto their own side, and B, allowed an opportunity for the ball to pop up in the air and give BYU a chance to come back with a counterattack of their own. Thompson into the game on the serve, and a block in front. Unable to keep it alive is BYU. And the Red Flash are within 4. Cole Thompson not in the starting lineup today. Evan Feltz gets the start against the Cougars. On a roll serve, kept up. Stanley on the back set to the back row. Blocks, but kept alive by Stanley. Another back row attack, this time got it by Gardini. Stanley on the second ball, blocks. Into the nets. And they're going to get a carry on BYU. Oberenden again. Gardini with the pass. They go to the outside. And a great dig from Thompson off the bench. Fisher off the block, kept up by Gardini. Faalago on a tip shot. Confusion. And an errant free ball sent over. Set point for the Cougars, 24-20. As a few of the BYU fans in the stands doing a little bit of what looked like a gator chomp on set point for the Cougars as they start that back up again. 24-21 the score right now. Red Flash facing set point number 2. Gardini goes low for it, then goes up high with a monster kill to finish off the sets. 25-21, the first set score. BYU takes it. We'll be back for the second set here on the NEC front row.
Most of my memories as a little girl are in a volleyball gym.
My neighbor Betsy
I wanted to be just like her. So she played volleyball, I wanted to play volleyball.
I was a terrible drawer, but ended up drawing a picture of myself, and I had a USA jersey on, and shockingly enough, it was number 7.
We single filed into the gym, and the first step that I took, I just had these crazy chills. It was a really emotional moment for me.
What do you want volleyball to do for you? Where do you want this path to take you? I want to be on the USA Olympic team. I want to play in the Olympics one day.
Surreal is the word that I have to use because it's something that I never have experienced before.
Our customers often come to us and say, I'm having this event, give me some ideas.
We've done everything from logo wear to really nice jackets to promotional items for member giveaway.
I like that it's very hassle-free. It is very streamlined, it's easy.
And the Damon team have never let me down.
Well, the snow is out in Loretto and more expected later on today as BYU is in town and looking to get out of town with a win against the Red Flash. Already taking set number 1 were the Cougars, 25-21, the final score there. As the Cougars had their way offensively, just 2 attacking errors in 25 total attacks, hitting .400 as a team. A total of 4 blocks as a team as well. Leading the way, it's Scardini, their star freshman from Ravenna, Italy. Been a member of the national team for a few years now. 6 kills for the freshman, also with an ace and a block. Will Stanley with a couple of kills from the center position, also with 10 assists and a couple of blocks for BYU on the opposite side. Patrick Brine leading the way. The opposite with 4 kills and 6 total attacks, along with an ace. BJ Blair with 10 helpers and a couple of blocks. As Gabe Wofford in defensively with 2 digs to lead the way for the Red Flash. As they held their own in the first few points and actually had a lead at 1 point at 8-7, but then BYU went on a run. And at one point, it was a 6-point game before the Red Flash were able to close it down and make it a respectable 25-21 loss. And we'll see how the Red Flash come out in set number 2. Same starting lineup for the Red Flash. Some changes for BYU. As Cyrus Faalogo will be on the starting courts. As BYU is pretty much going back to their normal starting lineup minus Zach Hendrickson at libero, is Feltz with an error on the service game, on the serve receive game, I should say. And an ace for BYU and Will Stanley. BJ Blair does all he can, but another error from Evan Feltz in the receive game. Will Stanley 2, Red Flash 0 in set number 2. Fisher will make the pass this time. And a tip from the middle as Hayden Herc finds a way through the block and finds the middle of the court. Now Feltz with an opportunity to redeem himself in the service game. And he hits it long. Toss was a little long, and he saw it right from the beginning. He was chasing that the entire way. And that forced him to hit it wide of the back line. As Davide Gardini will be back to serve. Wafden has to make the pass. They go with a back sets, and Patrick Bryan went for the cannon shot, try to tool it off the top of the hands. Unfortunately, went right into the block. As Gardini will set up another serve. One options Fisher against triple block. Roll shot right to the libero. And Richards. Wafden, a great play, diving play, I should say. And a gut shot too long from Patrick Bryan. Early timeouts from Mike Rumball in the red flash. 5-1 BYU jumping out all over the red flash as the service game giving away 3 points to the Cougars early. 2 on the serve receive, 1 on a missed serve, all from Evan Feltz. And looking at the history of the Red Flash, taking down ranked opponents, like I mentioned last year, taking down the Cardinals of Stanford in a 4-set victory in a tournament in California. They actually will play Stanford in 2021 here at DeGaul Arena. As Mike Rumball had an interview with Mr. Do Everything Rob Longo, our producer today, who also does some freelance writing in the Loretto area, talking about how you get a team like BYU to make the cross-country trip all the way to Loretto to take on St. Francis, and it all started last year after the 2017 season. The West Coast Conference men's volleyball split up into 2 separate conferences, and now the MPSF has just 12 teams. That allows a lot more travel for West Coast teams to the East Coast now. And now we'll see the likes of Stanford in 2021 come through DeGaul Arena. As that one is off the top of the tape, and an ace for Gardini. And BYU, not what you want out of a timeout. 6-1, the Cougars lead. Into the block, but out of play, as Evan Feltz will get a kill, as Hayden Herrick will be back to serve. And a kill out of the middle. Oberender with a kill out of the middle, and some of the fans wanting a lift from the libero on BYU on the serve-receive game. Oberender on the serve, taken by Feltz. Kept alive by Carver in the middle off the block. On a roll shot, Wafden, a great diving play. Backside Patrick Bryan right into the net. Thunder sticks are outs for the Red Flash fans. Wafden with the pass to the outside. Fisher off the block and a kill. The Red Flash staying in it, 8-3. They trail as they need to go on a bit of a run here to get back into the game. And that's not the way to do it. Patrick Bryan on his service error. A little too strong from the redshirt junior. Gabby Garcia Fernandez back to serve now. Taken by Feltz. They go out of the middle, off the arms of Richards, the libero, and a kill. And point for St. Francis. Fisher's pass taken by Gardini. Bryan keeps it alive. Free ball sent over. To the outside. Foul will go. Too far. 9-5 now. As foul will go. Hits it wide. Just his first attacking error. Richards with a good pass. They go out of the middle. Bryan kept it alive initially. But an attack and a kill for the Cougars and for Jibritu Feheru. Down the line goes Feltz, but too far inside. Garcia Fernandez had the line covered. As foul will go, we'll be back to serve. Into the nets. Stanley kept it alive. Feltz in a one-on-one. And Garcia Fernandez can't handle the heats. And a kill and point for the Red Flash. Evan Feltz does a nice job finishing off the play. Gardini. And they're going to get a points. Are the Cougars. Gardini, a smart play to just knock it off of the outside arm of the Red Flash block. From the back row, off the block, kept alive by Garcia Fernandez. Gardini is blocked and denied. Hayden Herc, a little fired up after the block. Red Flash still down 4. Trying to take down the number 4 ranked BYU Cougars. And another kill. Oberender with another kill. His third in 5 attempts. And his first start of his career. That one is into the nets. He's played just one set as Oberender prior to today's match. As Feltz will be back to serve. Richards will make the pass. Out of the middle, Oberender can't finish it off. Feltz keeps it alive, and a free ball has to be sent over by Wafadin. Roll shots kept up by the setter and B.J. Blair from the back row. Feltz! And a triple block denies Feltz from the back row. Fide Gardini back to serve. Led Italy to a second place finish in the U19 European Championships, where he was named the best outside of the tournaments. Off the block, kept alive by Patrick Bryan. Fisher knocks it over. Faalago blocks. Gardini keeps it alive. On the back side, Garcia Fernandez dug up. Patrick Bryan blocks. Herc can't finish. And a points for the Cougars. Easy points given away by the Red Flash. BYU leads by 6. An ace. Gardini with a big serve and a big points. 7-point advantage now for the Cougars. 16-9. Another ace. Gardini back to back. Woffinden can't make the play. And a switch coming from the Red Flash. Cole Thompson into the game now. And entered the game for BYU, Alex Asu. So Sean Olmstead really switching out, trying to keep his players fresh on this East Coast swing. Thompson will make the pass off the bench. And just a touch too far is Patrick Bryan. They're going to say a touch from BYU will give the point to the Red Flash. Olmstead out to challenge that. BYU saying they never touched it. Checking to see who called the touch. They're going to say the referee down on the near side called the touch, and a challenge coming from BYU. They're going to challenge the touch. So it looked like the initial call was going to be the kill attempt from the Red Flash. The swing was going to be too long out of play and a point for BYU. Then the referee on the near side called a touch that attracted attention of the umpire up top, who then called a point for the Red Flash on a touch off the block from BYU. And that is what Sean Olmstead is challenging, whether or not there was indeed a touch at the tape. A couple of things you're looking at if you're an official right now. If it's off the fingertips, you're obviously looking for movement from the fingertips. But if it's not, if it's off the side of the hand, off the side of a wrist, of the forearm, you're looking for a change in spin direction. Anything ever so slightly can be an indicator that it was touched or not touched. And a call overturned. Olmstead gets the challenge correct. No touch from the Cougars. And a point for BYU, and Gardini will still serve. Off the tape, kept alive and a free ball sent over. Gardini's serves have been huge for BYU as Asu is dug by the setter. Asu was in the tape. And a point for the Red Flash, trailing 18-10. Gardini with the pass. Oberenden denied in the middle. Asu dug by B.J. Blair. Bryan is blocked. Oberender and Faalago combined for the block on the outside, and BYU up 9. Oberender serve a little too strong. Patrick Bryan will be back to serve. Richards with the pass. Out of the middle, a monster kill. As Felipe Jabritu Fehiru will get the kill. Also be back to serve. Off the tape and a kill. Or an ace, I should say. Asu again back to serve. And this time he finds the middle of the nets. And Fisher will be back to serve. EIVA's second team. And a freshman All-American honorable mention back in 2017. Alago off the tip. And a kill for BYU. Logo back to serve now. Fisher will make the pass out of the middle, off the hands, and a kill for Cole Carver. Was really the third middle blocker last year was Cole Carver. 47 kills and 36 blocks. Griffin Sangre will be back to serve. And we do see Josh Blair for the first time. Redshirt freshman. Thompson down the line will get a kill. Unreal, bringing Gardini inside. And set points. As BYU fans go back to the, looks like the Gator Chomp celebration, and a kill, block in front. And the Cougars win set number 2, 25-15, as they look for the sweep. Don't go anywhere. Third set coming up here on the NEC Front Row. Top 5 teams in the nation are hard to beat, and BYU showing why. 2-0 lead over the Red Flash, 25-21, 25-15 for the Cougars, hitting .341 as a team. 20 kills, just 5 attacking errors for BYU. Meanwhile, the Red Flash hitting .143, well below their season average. 19 kills, 12 attacking errors, as they've also fallen behind in the service ace game as well. BYU +6 in that category. As BYU's block has also been huge. 19 blocks versus the 3.5 for the Red Flash. As we see a couple of changes from the Red Flash. Josh Blair will be in the starting lineup. He will be sitting, though, as Gabe Wofford will be on the back row first. Also, Cole Thompson will now be starting on the outside alongside Michael Fisher, as Thompson will start off the third set. Gardini, a smart play. Thompson keeps it alive, and a free ball sent over. Richards. Stanley and a kill out of the middle. Mike Jauhiainen, the Finnish junior, played 2 years of NAIA ball. As Richards with an easy dig. Stanley on the outside. Gardini finds a way through the block. And the height advantage showing there. Into the nets. As Stanley finds the nets on the serve. As Cole Carver hits it into the nets on the serve. He'll take a seat. Josh Blair now on the front row. The outside, Fisher. As Gardini can't make the diving play to his right. Patrick Bryan be back to serve now for the Red Flash. The outside, Asu unable to finish off the play. Now Fisher back the other way. Gardini trouble with the initial play, has to send a free ball over. Waffadin, Blair. Fisher has to reach high, kept alive by Stanley on his backside. Falogo dug up by Waffadin. Fisher again. And he's denied as they're going to get a carry on BJ Blair. Jauhiainen back to serve. Been a part of Finnish national team since 2017. Blair out of the middle and a kill. Josh Blair, his first kill of the game. Fisher a touch too long on the back line. And an error for the Red Flash. Alex Asu once again back to serve. BYU trying to place a trio as Asu will get an ace. Brendan Sander, Leo Durkin, and Price Jarman, the 3 players last year. Graduated from BYU. All 3 named to an All-American team. Brendan Sander, a first-team All-American on the outside. 2-time actually All-American selection the last 2 years he played. Leo Durkin, we mentioned, also a 2-time All-American over the last 2 years. And Price Jarman, All-American honorable mention last year. Those 3 are the big losses from BYU last year. Durkin obviously being the biggest loss. Over 1,000 assists over his final 3 seasons with the Cougars. As Josh Blair will be back to serve. Just a bit outside from Blair. For the Red Flash, couple players they have to replace from last year. Stephen Broswell, Eva's second-team selection, is actually in the crowd today. So next to him, Keith Kagaris, one of the middles from last year, as a kill from Cole Carver finds the BYU side of the 4. So Kagaris, another player they had to replace. along with Brandon Buck, who had over 300 kills in his senior year on the outside, and a kill out of the middle as Oberender with a kill. They also had to replace last year's leading assister in Joseph Kozlak. He's not with the team anymore. He was replaced midway through the season by Roman Swabinski, who is injured and out right now for the Red Flash. As Cole Thompson will now serve, Red Flash trailing 6-9. Logo will make the pass on the outside. Gardini. Thompson will make the pass on the backside, down the line, and Patrick Bryan somehow found a way through the block. And it looked like Gardini was covering the line on the block, and Patrick Bryan fit the ball into space. Bryan again kept alive. A diving play had to be made. Stanley on the outside with the set. Asu is dug by Thompson. Fisher, quick get up. Great diving play. Falogo. The second ball is not a good one to keep the play alive for the Cougars, and Red Flash are back within 2. Falogo with the pass on the outside. Gardini. Now he'll head to the back line to serve. 12 kills for the big man on the outside from Italy. Lofton has to make the tough play. BJ Blair can't make the one-handed set. Gardini already with 4 aces today. To go along with 3 total blocks and 3 digs, leading the way for BYU. As Gardini finds the net on the serve. Off the arms of Richards and a ace. This time a touch too far as Patrick Bryan can't get Richards to bite on that one again. Mike Yainen back to serve. Fisher into the triple block and out of play. Wise decision to let that one slide, and a kill for Fisher. Fisher leading the way, 7 kills. Patrick Bryan with 5. They're going to get the Red Flash in the nets. And a point for BYU. Asu back to serve, who's seen a lot of playing time here today. To the outside, Falogo with a kill. Past the diving attempts of Gabe Walfadin. Valuable playing time for Asu. As the freshman lines up another serve. Lofton with a good pass. From the back row, Fisher with a tip shots. An attack violation from the Red Flash. Asu with a serve out of bounds. As Blair will be back to serve now. Off the block and a kill. Cole Carver. Carver, an efficient day for the middle. 5 kills in 6 attempts. Oberender taking advantage of some playing time today. 7 kills now. Second on the team out of the middle as he'll be back to serve. Also with 4 total blocks. Lofton will make the pass. The outside Thompson, a touch too far. 19-13, the Cougars lead. Looking to close out a clean sweep and get out of the Keystone State before the impending inclement weather comes through. Lofton, another pass. On the outside, Patrick Bryan into the block and out of play. Thompson will be back to serve. Thompson from Los Alamitos, California, actually knows a few of the players on the BYU squad, having played travel club volleyball on the West Coast. Played against a few of them. And a cut shot kill for Patrick Bryan. (20-15) the score. As we'll see John Carr into the game for the first time. Griffin Sangre will be back to serve. Gardini's pass gets the return sets. Off the block, kept alive by Blair. Fisher off the block and a kill for the Red Flash. 20-16 the score. Point BYU, 21-16. Cougars trying to close it out. We'll have Davide Gardini, their best server, on the back line. 4 of the 9 aces so far for the Cougars today belong to Gardini, as Thompson will make the pass. On the outside, Fisher, too far. Brody Ernest will check in for the first time. Ernest making his season debut. The outside, Thompson from the back row, off the block and a kill. Daniel Fry will be in to serve now. 22-17. BYU on top. Gardini with the diving pass. Asu dug by Fry. Palogo outside in the middle and a kill. As Yahiainen will get the kill. And he'll be back to serve. Lofton has to chase to keep it alive. Fisher on a free ball. Off the top of the tape. Scramble play from the Cougars. Foul Logo sends it down the line. Thompson from the back row. Splits the block. Finds the back side of the row. And it's 23-18. Too far from Fisher. And a point for BYU leaves it at match points with Alex Asu back to serve. Serve really ate up Lofton. As Thompson is denied and BYU comes away with a clean sweep of the Red Flash. So the Cougars improve on the season to 4-0 as they complete a clean sweep of the Keystone States, taking down Penn State and the Red Flash in a matter of 17 hours. BYU led by Davide Gardini. Led the way, 11 kills for the Cougars, 4 aces as well, and 3 blocks. Oberenden in his first start of the season had 7 kills out of the middle blocker position, also had 4 blocks to lead the way defensively for BYU. On the Red Flash side, Michael Fisher had 8 kills. B.J. Blair had 28 assists and 7 digs to lead the Red Flash defensively. Cole Carver had 5 kills and 6 total attacks, efficient from the middle blocker position. As the Red Flash just could not hang with the 4th-ranked Cougars. Will now make their way back to the other side of the country, back to Provo, Utah. BYU will be on the road, actually, in their next game on January 1st, taking on UC Santa Barbara in a couple of games, then taking on Pepperdine and UCLA as they start up MPSF play in the beginning of February. Red Flash, meanwhile, back here at home as they have their first 7 games of the season here at DeGaulle Arena. They take on Penn State's to open up EIVA play, and that'll be 7 o'clock, or rather 4 o'clock tomorrow here on the NEC front row as the Red Flash unable to pull off the upset today. BYU once again takes it in 3 straight sets, 25-21, 25-15, 25-18. 11 a.m. start means we're done at 12:11. We thank you so much for tuning in on this early morning AM volleyball here on the NEC front row. For the rest of the front row crew, my name is Matt Papelka saying so long and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.